Icy roads this morning didn't stop members of the community members to gather at the United Methodist Church in Canton. As 7 News reporter Thomas Caffarella shows us, the holiday spirit is strong this Christmas Eve.
For the first time in almost 2 years, Phyllis Doan is singing hymns at the Christmas Eve service for the Canton United Methodist Church.
I thought that I might get teary because it would be the first time I ever went to a church service without my husband.
Doan and her husband went to Mass together for the 58 years they were married, only stopping when her husband grew sick. He passed away in October. To honor him, she asked her family to be with her for the first time coming back.
Would you consider coming to the 10 o'clock service and be next to me, because it would just feel good.
Her daughter and grandchildren were here on this unique Christmas Eve. The holiday doesn't fall on a Sunday often, so this year, morning service is a little bit different.
We're going to go through the hymnal, have some different traditional Christmas carols.
And the caroling echoed. Along with the songs, people shared stories of who they wish to pray for this holiday season and spreading some holiday joy with food.
We're getting together, having some cookies.
While their singing may warm your soul, they also have hot chocolate and coffee to make sure your body stays warm as well.
We're also having some cookies and hot cocoa.
A church community coming together to spread Christmas spirit in Canton. Thomas Caffarella, 7 News.